Hold on. The recording has begun here. You maybe have to click something. I'm not sure if that's still what happens where it gets in your way. And yeah. So again, minimal effective practice is sitting at the front edge of a chair, working on verticality called zhongjung. Once you've got that verticality, then you practice the more unique viewpoint. Like everyone thinks about, oh yeah, have a good vertical pillar. But where Taoism and Tai Chi and Qigong go in an interesting direction, and in my view, the superior way of thinking is this emphasis on relax your body without allowing, as you relax, don't allow your zhongjung or central upright to start collapsing. So you got to keep that zhongjung and then relax everything around it. And relaxation should be experienced, or when you relax, pay attention to the fact that it's not a downward change in your body. It's actually a plumping or a dilating of your body when you relax. And then what goes down is this chunwon, this idea of the sediments, the tension we were holding by its nature, just like in a glass of water, if it's got a bunch of dirt in it, and then you just leave it there, you don't have to push the dirt down. And in fact, if you were to try to push it down, it would actually stir it back up. You have to relax, you have to become still and release and allow the natural settling quality. And so it's that settling quality where we ground and connect to the ground and find our stability. So it's this idea of looking for stability in the correct way, looking at stability in the correct way. So rather than holding yourself stable, you release yourself completely, allow that settling of the sediment down, and then what is left is the Qingling, the third idea of lightness, nimbleness, agility, mobility. So then we have the best of all worlds. We have integrity of structure, we have stability grounding us, and we have absolute mobility, right? And any of those three things off throws the whole vehicle out of whack. So that's really what we're training in Tai Chi, Qigong, and Taoist movement. Breathing in through the nose, nice, long, and full. Out through the mouth, clearing the system. Let's do that 10 times. You could do it for 10 minutes. We won't, but on your own practice, you could do that. 4 parts of every breath. Inhale, holding full. Exhale, holding empty. Feeling that change that I took the time to describe, feel that change happen. It doesn't happen like that. It happens over time. You notice somewhere that you're holding, and you relax that. And then you notice somewhere else and you relax that. You notice somewhere that you're slouching and you bring it back online. And then you relax. You allow chunwon, that settling through the chair, through your legs, through your feet, under the floor, under the ground. And then you also feel that light quality, the lightness, potential for ease of movement. Now, warm-ups, slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest and chin up, arching. And then the opposite, slide the hands forward, hollow the chest, round the back, arms go completely straight, scapula spread apart from each other. We'll do that 4 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And by now you should, I don't think any of you are 100% new here, so we've done this exercise countless times at this point. So ideally, this is something that's yours now. You're not waiting around for me to describe every little nuance of it, right? You're exploring it. You're finding how to use these tools to tenderize your rigid tissue, to mobilize your stuck joints. And that's something I can't do for you. I can describe things, but only if your mind lights up on the idea of, oh yeah, I got to explore, I got to listen to the body, I got to really go to those edges and work the kinks out and find those places that need attention. That's the art of it. It's the difficult part, but it's also the natural part. It ends up being very natural. Let's come back to neutral, go right into the twist, left hand forward, right hand back. Just a few rotations. Same idea. These should start to become your own, familiar. All these movements can be, should be, feeling more and more natural, more and more just like you expressing the desire of the body to move, the desire, the energy, the chi, the life force, that aspect of us that makes us not dead, right? When we're dead, something ain't in here, right? The body might still be here, but something's not, right? And so we're engaging with that aspect of our life force. Let's come back to middle, hang the arms, and just softly lean right, lift left wrist, left foot, just get that sideways leaning and tipping, reclaiming the freedom of movement, right? Again, I'm sure you guys feel this way, and I've just noticed it with all my clients that I've worked with for many, many years, different ages, that the body can become a prison. It can become a place where we are stuck, where we're not having the best time, right? And then the body can also be this wonderful vehicle for pleasure, for activity, right? And so we're trying to proactively retain that and reclaim that ability. Let's come back to middle. Very important, scapula. We do it every time because the scapula are the most complicated joint in the body. Spread them apart, that's called protraction. Elevate them up, that's elevation. Retract, squeeze them back, and slide them down. Again, I'm hoping these ones are becoming familiar to you. Something that you're exploring and finding all the little nuances, nooks and crannies. That's just something words from a teacher can only go so far until you light up the E, the mind, the consciousness. It's a hugely important part of this stuff. Reverse, going back and up, sliding over top and down. Once you learn the basic choreography, then you get to layer on those poetic images. Shwen, shwen meaning as the river flows, or like the flow of a river. So then our movements, we start to actually literally embody that quality that you can imagine in your mind. That's the beauty of Taoist imagery, is that it's technical language. It's not just like, oh, that's pretty. It's literally telling you with a poetic image what quality you could be cultivating. And then bend the elbows and let's go out and up. Again, this is just to get those last little nooks, crannies, and stuck spots in the upper chest, shoulder blades, back, that place that has, again, if you look at the anatomy, a picture of the anatomy, there's like 6, 7 layers of tissue muscle joints that are supposed to be able to slide and glide freely from each other. Whereas what often happens is they get glued together and stuck. Now we go back, we go down, we go forward, we go up, we go forward, down, and back. So then we look for that schwen. We look for, at first, there's usually some barnacles and glue and grit in the way, but then over time you get to where this gear in the machine just goes, whee, slide, slide. And that's why daily practice can be so fun, because you build on it day after day after day, and then you just start to feel your body getting more lubricated, more free. Elbows out, one hand up, one hand down, cross and hug. And then we go elbows way out, and then switch, hug, open, switch. One more. Now, load, push, load, down, switch. Down, load, push, load, down. Do that again. Karen, somehow you came unmuted. I'll mute you. No worries. Spotlight. I forgot to do that as well. So again, we're just getting freedom of movement. We're not trying to think of this in terms of, even though this is the same gesture as a leg press in the weight room or a squat when we stand up, we're doing the same gesture. But here we're just thinking hydraulics, loose, free range. Now foot and ankle, straighten, and we point and flex, and point and flex. And then we invert, tilt, evert, tilt, 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 tilt. And then we circle. Again, even though we've done this routine many times, go ahead and reverse. I mean, think about how many times I've done it, right? But it's not boring to me. Maybe it is to you, but the reason it's not boring is because every time, go ahead, point and flex, every time there's stuff in there that needs to get dealt with. So every point and every flex is getting something in my calf right now that I can feel is tight. And then I tilt the foot in and out. Now I'm feeling some looseness in places that were stuck yesterday or the day before, right? And then I'm going circle and, oh, I'm getting a little cramp out of my pinky toe and my calf. So if your mind is present, go ahead and reverse. There's a saying, there's a great book called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. And it's saying, always have beginner's mind. That is the state of the mind that we want to have. So even as we acquire knowledge and experience, we don't want to lose track of that freshness of every breath, every moment, every movement, right? As trite as that can sound. It's just true. Scoot forward to the front edge of your chair. Step a little wider apart. So again, very important for balance is, again, the hips not being stuck, right? So just imagine that machine being stuck here, and then we got to walk around very clumsy. So this movement is very important, this spiraling, internal, external. We need to do what's called dynamic separation. We need to separate the pelvis and the thigh bones. You know, they're plugged together at the hip socket, but there's all these muscle wraps and tissue wraps that can create a sort of a prison state in the hips, which makes us clumsy and not powerful. Or we cultivate free dynamic movement. Again, I wouldn't want to take my leg and rip it off and throw it across the room and separate it. I want to have dynamic separation. So it's separating and able to come back. That's that dynamism that we're cultivating in every relationship in the body. Now, neutral legs from that same space, hip hinge. Sit upright. Tip back. Upright. Tip forward. Upright. Most important part here is that the power of just moving at the quad. So again, my spine, head, shoulders, I'm not doing anything anywhere in my spine, even though I just leaned it way back. And also when I lean it way forward, nothing is changing. It's taking me no effort except right at this quad. So to the degree that I have a free-flowing quad space in the hips, that's the degree that I can make this big change in the outer body. And then we apply that even more specifically to standing up. We slide our feet back. Arms are loose because we loosen those shoulders, right? So we're not grabbing them on again. We're leaving them loose. And we fold. And just again, notice where my arms go in relation to my ankles. That's really important. So they're not back here because then I'm too heavy back here on this side of the scale. I need to allow that in front of the ankles, so the butt is behind, the shoulders and arms are in front. And then standing up is it's just no problem. It's just so easy. And then you just reverse that order. You go, okay, butt back, shoulders and arms forward of the ankles. Fold, my ankles are still the middle, right? Okay, there's my chair. Sit the butt, right? Okay, now here's my middle, down through, because these are empty. And then I'm just going, okay, let me change that. Now my feet are the middle, and now I can just stand with ease. Now, don't sit in your chair, but do the exact same mechanism movement. Boom. Fold, but don't sit. You might even touch the chair with your butt. Just don't commit to the chair and then just come right back up. Again, like an accordion, the health of the accordion is can it open and close. If it gets stuck in any of those shades of movement, it's not going to be a healthy accordion. Same with the body. We basically sink and go into a fetal position, right? Fetal position. And then we go fully elongated, tall. We want to even add to this hips forward a little bit, right? To create this little bit of a back bend, just to like break that sense of holding our body so tightly. And then go hips back and just sink. And then push through the earth and rise. And hips forward. And then hips back and sink. Right, so ideally we're now seeing what we were just working on in the chair of Zhongjung, Chunwan, releasing and relaxing, and then Qingling, light, nimble, leanable, right? We can do all kinds of different movements, but just play around a little bit for a second. See what you can do with the least possible effort. So what I'm doing here is I'm going hips a little forward, and then I'm just like tipping them over to the side. But again, I don't feel even for a second like I'm about to fall over. Why? Well, it's because I'm getting my stability underneath me, not from some stiffness. Because if I have it in my body and then I go do this, yeah, I'm going to feel like I'm going to fall. But if my body's just like those, you've seen them at the car dealership where the air is blowing up and it's going like that. That is literally how the body can feel, is loose, relaxed, right? The knees bendable, straightenable, tippable, right? So we work on a lot more of that on the Friday class where we do the joints and we do Tai Chi and whatnot. That helps get all that density out. But now let's just focus on the sort of standing walking piece. Now, be closer to the chair on your right side, hand on the chair, or know that you can get to the chair should you need it. And then just relax your arms again, relax your shoulders. Now, your middle, your navel, that's your general reference point. So now you can tell I have more weight in my right leg, less in my left, but I didn't pull my foot off the ground. My foot's still touching the ground. And then now I'm changing from that middle pivot. Now you can see, okay, yeah, this leg is the one taking the weight and guiding it to the ground, and this one is empty. But again, I'm not pulling it off the ground, I'm just emptying it. So find that freedom of movement. Just like we use the term range of motion, right? Let's say the shoulder has a range of motion that we want to develop. But think of this as like the internal range of motion between hips and sort of an interior mechanism that's often stuck, right? So then we're doing this, I'm being the Tin Man here, versus loose, and then you can see there's just a different quality to that changing of weight. Now go into your left leg, stay in it. Right leg being empty, notice it has the power of Ching Ling, lightness, nimbleness. Put the foot down while it is still empty, and then do that little internal change. Once the left foot is actually empty, then you go, oh. So it takes zero effort. Then you change. If I prematurely try to pick this leg up now, if I go, okay, I'm only half and half, but now I gotta pick it up. Now I gotta use what they call Li, clumsy tension-based strength. But if I'm patient and precise, then I go, oh, now it's empty. So now I can lift this with no problem. It's loose. And by the way, that's a dangerous leg on the dance floor. It's a dangerous leg in martial arts. It's a dangerous leg, dangerous being good, right? This capable, it's a capable leg when it's empty. So we want to get clear on that idea that emptiness good, emptiness very good. Now, hand on chair, fill that left leg, tippy toe. Now disconnect. Place it back down with zero weight. Change. Now as the weight's here, this is empty, go tippy toe, disconnect, reconnect, change. Use the chair as needed, but try to keep the workload on the Sung system, the supple hydraulic system. And the tendency will always be, the moment we add challenge, we go back to our bad habit, which is to brace, to grab, to hold, right? So that's why we want to use the chair. Now as we go for level 3, where you lift as high as the knee can go, the chair is useful if it allows you to stay relaxed, right? If I'm saying, no, I'm not going to use the chair, but I'm bracing like crazy, that's worse. That's going to get you less far than saying, okay, chair, okay, relax, okay, relax, lift, relax, stay relaxed, down, change. So whether it's a walker, a cane, some other implement that you're using for balance, if you use it right, it doesn't become a crutch. It becomes a stepping stone to get further. Okay, now staying on this side near this chair, back up just a bit so that we have a little more runway in front. The chair should be off to your right. Fill the left, empty your right, put the foot out in front, heel touching. So this is the relationship of the body. Notice I didn't take a humongous step. Keep it just right there. And then just let the weight go down. And then let the weight go down. Let the weight go down. And down. This is one of my favorite parts of what Taoist movement has taught me, is how when we're moving forward and backwards, we don't have to think forward and backwards. I'm moving forward, but I'm just thinking down, which the down gives me my vertical, my up, and I get to just stay relaxed, balanced, and in good equilibrium. Level 2, hand on chair, lift, lower, shift, back leg, lift, lower, shift. As the weight goes down, relaxing down, this is empty, so it can go wee. As the weight goes down, this is empty, so it can just go wee. Very easy. And then finally, level 3, we go down and this up. So as high as it can go. Down. Shift. Now this leg comes forward and up like you're going to step over a humongous boulder. And then you just reach the toe back, no body weight, and shift. Weight goes down as this leg comes up, down, shift. Up, down, shift. Switching sides, safely. Side step, shift, near this chair. Put the weight in your right leg, left foot in front, nice and relaxed. Just let the weight fall through the leg. Let it just fall through the leg. So it's this combination of totally loose, but not sloppy. Totally precise, but not rigid. So this precision and looseness, which are usually sort of opposite ideas, yin and yang, but they balance together. They keep each other equilibrium. And it's that state of loose and grounded and precise that makes us capable, dangerous, I like to say. Now, lift, lower, shift. Wait for it to be empty so that this has no disturbance to your body, right? So you want to be very precise with this idea that if I had 2% or 5% in my foot still and I went to lift, that would happen. And you want to be not okay with that. You want to say, no, that wasn't good enough. I need to get more in this leg so that this can lift and not create any change. Same thing here. Get to where it's really 100 so that when you do this, there's just no change to the body. Same thing here. So you get really good at discerning full and empty, because eventually that can be instantaneous. Ba, right? Ba, ba. That can be fast, but first you got to actually get the palate. Now we go up, down, change. Forward and up like you're stepping up over a big old boulder. Reach the toe back, no body weight in it. And then change. Weight going down, that allows this up, down, change. Forward and up. Back with no weight. Change. Up, down, change, up, down, right? So I just show that so that those of you who have been doing it a while and maybe think like, I'm feeling pretty good about this, then you can start to add speed, but again, really keep that high bar for perfection, precision, looseness, ease, right? Switch sides again. Weight in your left leg, right foot out in front. Now we go for a full step forward. So it's shift, step, shift. Shift, step, shift. Same idea. There should be no disturbance here, right? That should be able to happen with no quaking. Shift. Also, down, down. So that I just moved 6, 8, 10 inches forward and backward. But I didn't lean forward or lean backwards at all. I just was down, down, which gives me my up, which gives me all my, right? So this is martial arts, this is athleticism, this is basketball, this is any sport, this is whatever. It's all the same thing of, do you have this free, loose body, great connection to the ground, right? Let's go level 2, lift, lower, this is where you might need that chair, shift, now this step over something, and then shift, and little flamingo, and then shift, this is the real tricky one, up, tuck, and reach, staying in this leg, shift, lift, lower, change, step over, change. So again, for those of you feeling more confident, feeling frisky, you can start to bring those movements closer together so that it's shift and lift, and you can start to train to see how good you're getting at using the leg as the correct mechanism, as that little bit of a spring, and are you relaxed enough to just let it almost happen instantaneously? Right? The answer is probably no. Probably you are not capable of doing it. I could do it faster than I'm showing even now, but you want to be right at that nice edge for yourself. Let's go next level up. Full lift, lower, and then here you exaggerate this 1, 2. Again, we're just like cleaning off the mechanisms. Right? This idea that there's gunk in the system. Loose shoulders, right? That's a, Christopher, notice your arms. That'll be the one for you. Yeah, exactly. Right, we start to do this. And you can see if I exaggerate it, how all of a sudden I'm creating top heaviness versus looseness, right? Switching sides. Weight in your right leg, left foot in front. Level 1 is just casual. Just casual walk. Walk. Loose, loose. Just free and easy. Remembering that that looseness doesn't become sloppiness. It's still got that Zhong integrity. It's more of an idea that a function, the body is meant to function in a loose state rather than in a tight state. Next movement, lift, lower, shift, and then we go over the obstacle, staying empty, 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 all the way till the foot touches. Then, flamingo. Excuse me. Back. Remember this part, really important, right here. That really helps train. You see how I sort of reground through this leg as I find the floor. Then shift. Lift, lower, shift. Right here. One more level 2. Light, free, and free. We go level 3, all the way down, shift. So now that this is empty, we can go total bend, total hip hinge, full extend, lower from the hip, all without having changed the weight, all without having disturbed the equilibrium, and then we change. And we do the full lift, the full return, shift, and we go up, tuck, reach, all without really disturbing the equilibrium, and then shift. that dynamic separation. So the pelvis, spine, shoulders, head, in a sense, are just floating. That's what it starts to feel like as well. Once your legs return to their Tai Chi springiness, then there's this freedom that you feel, this equilibrium from the quad and the hips to just kind of be floating. Your equilibrium central pillar is floating. And down. Okay, now come to the far left of your space. Your chair should then be on your left. You have this runway in front of you. Empty your left foot, put it in front, level 1. Just walk. Just walk. Just cruising down the aisle at the supermarket. Just standing in line at a Starbucks or a local coffee shop or something, right? Or hanging out at a concert or at some event and feeling loose to just kind of cruise over and then stand and be on one leg while the other leg is relaxed and then switch and walk and just seeing how every day is Tai Chi. Everything that you do can be Tai Chi. And if you see it that way, Tai Chi becomes really fun. It's all day, every day. Every function, every act, every moment is loosen up, be more efficient, be more precise. And then let's do level 2, where we're actually stepping over something. Over. Oops. Especially this walk backwards. So important not to go kerplunkety, right? The most valuable part of these exercises, I would say, is this moment right here. Not necessarily because we are going to walk backwards so much in our life, but because this is the moment where if we can find this separation, that movement, then we're really starting to cultivate the middle and the freedom of movement in the hips. We can feel that freedom of movement. All right, now turn and face forward, side walking. But before we just go walking, we separate and bring back together. We're going to do that a few times. Out and in. Out and in. Pelvis connected to the ground through just one leg. Therefore, this one is free to step, and it should not pull our body clumsily along with it, right? That may happen now, but make sure you're aware when it's happening. Don't think you're doing this when you're actually doing this. Right? So be able to discern that. Okay? Now out. Now change. And change. I mean, just look at how much movement, how much range can be all the way on this side, all the way on this side of a room. Something could pass right by this way, or I could pass by this way, and I haven't left the ground. I haven't had to clumsily move myself over there. I just changed where my arrangement was, and now this is free, and then change where the arrangement, and then change. Now bring this leg in, out, in, out. Loose, just loose all the time, looser and looser and looser, without being sloppy. And then bring it in, and then very important, feet touching if you can, and find the way down, right? You can see in my leg, there's a little bend. I'm not push bending, I'm opening the leg. So it has the function of a spring, which has a bend in it. And then change. Change. That's as opposed to going like this, locking and leaning to get this foot free, and then locking and leaning loose, down, down, middle, central pillar. Now, weight down through the left, right foot empty, step. Change. Weight down through the right, left foot should be free now, loose and free to go zip. And then we stay close together, change, so the weight's in the left. Shoot it out. Again, that is different than this. This. Stay here. Out. Change. Bring it in. Change. Step it out. Change. In. Change. And then in, back out, chain, in, chain, out. This can start to happen faster. Down, out. Down, in. Down, out. Down, in, down, out. Down, in, down, out. So now I'm moving faster, but I'm obeying the rules and I feel safe and I'm loose and relaxed. Now, feet separate, shift into the right leg, turn, brush, and sweep. And then the hands turn over and turn, brush, and sweep. So now we're not walking at the moment, we're just doing change weight leg to leg, find the turn at the quad, turn at the waist, and the movement of the hand. Now, as you shift to the right, turn, brush, and sweep, stay here with the hands, bring the left foot in. Now, change the weight into the left leg, turn, brush, and sweep. Keep the hands over to the left side, right foot is free, step it out. Turn the hands over, now we go shift, turn, brush, sweep. Left foot should be empty, step in, turn the hands over. Shift into this leg, turn, brush, sweep, right foot is free. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, left foot is free. Comes in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, right foot is free. Out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, left foot is free. Steps in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step in, step out. Let's go back the other way. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, step. So again, this should feel like floating. You're executing legitimate movement in space, and this is the easiest of the Tai Chi movements. Bear washing paws. But it's got everything you need, all the ingredients to have you start feeling this full Tai Chi experience of I'm walking, I'm changing feet, I'm stepping, I'm turning, my weight is changing, I'm finding my middle. Let's do the bear swats the jumping fish, right foot out. So your right hand is dipped in over here on the left side, left arm comes up around chest height. So now we're going shift and turn, brush knee, swat the fish, left foot is free, bring it in. The hands change, so now your left hand is down in the water, right arm is up, shift. And again, this is the one that gets people thrown off because the feet are so close together. But if you remember, oh yeah, go down through the leg and turn, brush knee, swat the fish. As the hands are changing, step. Shift and turn, brush and swat. As the hands are changing, foot comes in. Shift and turn, brush and swat. As hands change, step out. Remember the word schwen. Those of you that start to feel like, hey, I kind of got this. Then you go, okay, is it like a river? Usually you slow down to find that river. One more, and then we switch directions. And again, if you already bumped into the wall, you can go back the other way sooner. You don't have to wait. Shift and turn and brush knee down low, swap the fish up top. As the hands change, you bring that foot in, change the weight, turn the waist, brush, swap, step out, change hands, step, brush and swap. Bring the foot in. So there's a part of you that's just floating. Part of you that's just moving through space to the outside observer. They see you moving from over there on the right side of the room to the left side of the room, but in a certain way, inside of our body, there's just a floating stillness, an unperturbed, undisturbed stillness inside of all this action. Let's go there and back one more time. Now go for that higher jumping fish. So we really reach up high. Bring it down and then turn and breathe. So we're cultivating freedom of movement, separation of the parts without one going too far and the other not far enough. So Alex, watch closely here. When your left hand comes over top, you don't just drop it down to this side. Bring it down and keep it over here as this one comes up, right? And so it's both hands at the same time. You step the foot in. Now it's shift and turn, and this hand is sweeping through this way. This one's going over top. And then as the hands are changing, the step happens. And then the shifting and the turning and the brush and the swap. And then as the hands are changing, bring the foot in. That's where the slowness has incredible value. And again, if you already ran into the wall, you can go back the other way if you're there sooner than me. All right, let's switch directions. Foot comes in, foot out. Brush knee, swap. As the hands exchange. So Christopher, something happened right there. So come over to this side with your left hand. Right hand over here. Shift and turn. Right? Now the hands stay over on this side as you step. So now everyone's on the bus. We're ready to go that way. Shift and turn and brush and swap. You should be in your left leg. The right foot should not have stepped forward or stepped in yet. Now it steps in. Now this foot stays there. We shift and turn. Now we don't step right away, but as the hands are going, then we step. When we step, we don't immediately weight change into it either. That's key. We got to step. Then there's the change and turn. Now the right foot stays back there. We don't just immediately bring it in until we do this. So that's that conscious work. And then we're changing, turning. And then as the hands are changing, we're stepping. And then we're and hands together and just clear quad, hips, low back. And then one of these guys, just so that we kind of reset for a moment. And then let's finish with our rotational steps. These are just very important because it's all about orienting. I believe, I don't know if this has happened to any of you, but what I've heard is that one of the #1 ways people fall as they age is in this moment when I'm looking this way and then I'm going to start going that way. And we're so accustomed to just being able to kind of yank our body into it. But now our feet are sort of more stuck and glued and we're a little more frozen. So then people turn from their upper body and then they bail and fall over their feet. And so this is just important to understand. We're always doing Tai Chi. There's no time when we should be locked and holding. So we're always loose. And in a sense, you want to be always in one leg or the other. I won't say always, but a lot of the time, if you're just hanging out, you want to be like waiting for a stoplight. You want to be in one with this one free, or if you're standing in line for something and then you want to be changing, so now you're in this one, so that if it's time to move, you can step, rather than being stuck like this and then having to get that thing going. So same is true when it comes to turning. Go into your left leg and turn that right foot out, and then turn it back to neutral. And then turn that foot in. This is one we don't often do, but it's worth doing. And there's times when this movement comes in handy. So now turn out and turn in. And to add to this challenge, when you turn out, turn the pelvis, the navel, the head, look that way, but keep this leg empty. And then look this way. See how much you can look. You can even look over your shoulder. If you turn your head, you can see behind you. This is kind of like Ba Gua, which is a sister practice to Tai Chi. Same thing here. When you turn the foot out, and you can even turn the head and look over your shoulder. So this just opens you up for a bit of a twist. And then turn, the foot turns in, and then the upper body can turn, and the head can turn. You can almost see all the way behind you and beyond. And back to neutral. Let's do that with the other leg. So put the weight in your right leg. Turn the left foot out. Neutral. In. And then let the body start to come along for the ride. Turn out. Turn in. Look across. And then even start to look over the shoulder a little bit. And then look over the shoulder. Turn. Just think function. Whole deal with the body, if it loses function, it's no fun. There's no fun in no function. And back to middle. Now we go changing orientation. Right foot turns out. Change the weight into the right. Let the body come around. When you step, try to really have this left foot remain empty before you put it down. And then do it again. Put the weight in your left leg. Turn the right foot out. The body turns. You're looking this way. And then you're changing the weight. And the foot is empty. And again, so we're just quarter turning to the right. Right foot empty. Down. Right foot empty. Down. One more time in that direction. Empty. Down. Empty. Down. And then how speed happens is that if I get good at it, as I put the weight into my left leg, as that is happening, I'm loosening and turning this. So it's right on top of each other, right? I'm here and I'm going, So that's speed. Speed not by rushing, but speed by being precise. Let's go this way. Left foot out, change the weight, bring the foot around, keeping it empty. Change the weight, turn the left foot out. Change the weight, bring the right foot around, change. Change. Go around twice. And if you have even a slight hint of ease and casualness, really key into that idea. Because that's how it feels for me as I get better, is it's casual, leisurely. It's like resting. That's the quote. Tai Chi and Qigong is like resting the whole time. Now, turn that right foot in a little bit. And I'm now oriented this way, and then I bring this foot back. And I do it again. Turn it in. And bring it back. Turn it in. Bring it back, and only a loose and soft body can make that shape. If I'm stuck in a stick figure, it's going to be too difficult. Too many obstacles inside the mechanisms. But when you soften and loosen and allow rounding and hollowing and all that, go in the other direction. Left foot pigeon toes in. I'm looking that way. And back. Notice how this one has a sort of backwards energy. So when we turn the foot, when I go to shift onto it and bring this back, it's like I'm moving backwards. And then I'm setting the foot up, and then it's like I'm moving backwards, energetically. Set up the foot, and back. Set it up. Go around twice. And then let's put those all the way together for the full 180 in 2 foot movements, but it has to be leisurely. 1, shift, keeping this foot empty, I just turn. And then I'm back to here. In just 2 foot movements, I'm going to get to face the whole other direction. 1 foot movement, shift, turn the body, turn the body, turn the body, turn the foot, and shift. And now I'm back to facing this way. Turn, shift, and turn the foot, shift, and turn the foot. Teacup just floating along. Not getting dizzy because I'm not whipping my body around. I'm just kind of easing. Nice and relaxed. The eyes can just relax and just see the world go by. Or you can focus on things if that helps you. And we go the other way. Left foot turns out. Right foot turns in. Left foot turns out. And again, the beautiful thing is the primary direction is still down. It's still just down to the earth. Down to the earth. Regardless of the orientation of my parts, it's still just down. I turn the foot out, so I'm doing this, rotation and all this sort of subtlety, but it's still just down. And then finish facing forward. Hands together, rub. Back of hand. Palms. Back of other hand. Palms. Quad. So the 2 groin inguinal creases there. Hip flexors right along the front. Tailbone. Lumbar. And then like you're sitting for a squat, sweep the hands down the outside of the legs around. As you come up the inside of the legs to the navel. 2 more. Quad. Hip flexors. Tailbone. Lumbar. Sweeping. 1 more. Remember, leisure, 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 leisure. Everything leisure. Everything relaxed. No rush whatsoever. Training yourself to be Schwen, fluid. And then we finish with going up the outer arm or yang channels. Turn the palm up and sweep down the yin channels. Yang to the shoulder. Turn the arm. Off. Up. Sweep. Sweep. Switch. Like a little pressing of the reset button, resetting all the natural flow. Loose, bounce, shake, shimmy, wrists. And then shogun, this little closing gesture. Navel, belly button, 1, 2. And then the little Taoist bow, grab a thumb, fold over top, little yin yang symbol. Thank you, everybody. All right. Know where your chair is before you sit, and if you have any questions, let me know.